Sunday morning, and I want to tell you that one of the greatest pieces of information I learned this weekend is that they make deodorant for vaginas. I'm very curious about this now, and I want to know if it's a common thing. Since 99.8% of my viewers are dudes, I don't really expect you to know, but I'm curious. Yeah, so both girls who watch my channel, just let me know in the comments, please. Day 3, I didn't think I was going to stretch this out into 3 videos, but as much recording as I've been doing the last couple days, definitely stretching it out into 3. Today's going to be the ride back home, hopefully without issue. We'll see. Greg will be heading. You going to breakfast with us?
Yes.
So Greg's going to go to breakfast with us, and he's going to be heading back up to Charlotte. We got about 600 miles. We're going to go meet up with somebody Colleen knows who wanted breakfast. So I'm like, oh, cool, breakfast. She said 11 a.m. That's brunch, man. Anyway, we'll see you on the road. We'll have a good time today. I'm gonna have to use some sunscreen today, boys. Colleen offered me some right now, and I should have actually taken her up on it now. I don't like the way it feels on my skin, but I don't like the way sunburn feels on my skin either, so something has to give. Kind of had these grand ambitions that I'd be home like 3 or 4 this afternoon so I could finish editing the video that I want to release tomorrow night, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think I mentioned yesterday that I forgot my razor, and instead of just running into a Walgreens real quick to get a disposable razor, I opted to not shave at all this weekend. So I'm very fuzzy. When you don't shave for 3 days, it's more than just stubble at that point, but it's not quite enough to call it like hair. What I will say is that the hair stubble buzz on top of my head is acting like Velcro. So when I take my helmet on and off, like sticks to it like Velcro. Another beautiful morning. It's humid. Mike's weather report in Northeast Florida, brought to you in part by Ben Gay. Hello. WMBR 19.76 on your FM dial. One of these days, man, one of these days, I'm gonna have enough money or time or both where I can just do this shit all the time. Isn't that the dream though? Isn't that what everybody wants to do? Sad reality is, get back tonight, maybe I'll finish editing my video for tomorrow, maybe not, but then it's right back to work tomorrow and all the stresses and responsibilities that come with it. The human life, what a wild time. I'm hoping that it's not very busy up here because it's Sunday, so a lot of these fuckers should be in church or something, not where we're going. Because yesterday was jam-packed, man. I stressed the hell out of my engine on that. I mean, it all stayed within limits, so maybe it wasn't stressed. Maybe I was just stressed waiting for something catastrophic to happen. That's more likely the case. That's another thing, the human mind, man. It makes you think the worst possible scenario at all times. Meanwhile, Uncle Bogator down here is just like, yeah, I'm chilling, man. This is good. This is good. Give me more, baby. Oh, absolutely beautiful weekend. Absolutely wonderful friends. I have been joking lately about I'm trying to hang out with good people. I just haven't met any yet. But I hope everybody knows it's a joke, man. I love these motherfuckers. I've traveled a lot in the past on motorcycles, mostly when I lived in Phoenix. And I rode a 2007 Sportster XL 883L. So the low Sportster was the first year that they had the fuel injection. That was before Sportsters were cool. Now they, you know, there's a lot of folks, there's a whole Sportster like subculture within the motorcycle subculture. That didn't exist in 2006. It was still just a girl's bike. I toured on that motherfucker, man. I was all over the Southwest. I took that thing from Phoenix. I was all over Southern California. I was all up in Colorado, Utah, New Mexico. I was all over the place. You couldn't convince me that I didn't have a touring bike. Because when you have a bike like that and you want to ride all over the place, you figure out ways to make it work, man. I had 3 sets of pegs, forwards, mids, and rears that I would move my legs around to make myself comfortable. I'd throw my ass up in the passenger seat sometimes just to give myself a little stretch. I put the tall sissy bar on so I'd have somewhere to strap all my luggage and shit. I didn't even have soft bags until like the last year that I had the Sportster. I put some hard Viking bags on, which were nice, but I never had them when I actually toured on the thing. That was an everyday means of transportation for me for quite a while. I had that motorcycle. I rode that bike for 8 years. I sold it at the beginning of 2014, so 7.5 years. to help me fund my move over to, I sold my motorcycle, and I was a heavy brewer back then. I sold all my brewing equipment, and that's basically what I used to get myself across the country. And back then I rode in a club, so a lot of my travel was wherever the club was going. And you can't just be like, oh, I'm in this motorcycle club, but I'm on a Sportster, I can't travel. Bull fucking shit, you can. I would have much rather had something like this to tour on, or a road glide, or hell, even Jack's Concourse, which, by the way, I'd never heard of a Concourse until I met Jack. I say, and I'm 100% authentic when I say I love all motorcycles, but that doesn't mean I know all motorcycles. I don't bury myself into knowing every motorcycle that has ever been out, and at what year did they did this, what year they did that. That stuff doesn't interest me. It really doesn't. And maybe you want to call me a fake motorcyclist or fake biker or whatever, because I'm not into all that shit. I'm just not. I'll get a motorcycle and I'll try to learn the ins and outs of that motorcycle, but that's about as far as my want for knowledge goes. Anyway, we're going to get on down here to breakfast. I haven't had a bad meal yet this weekend. I definitely have gained 9,000 pounds this weekend. Anyway, let's get on down the road and we'll see you down at breakfast.
We made it to a spot called Metro Diner. There are a couple up in the First Coast area. Jacksonville, St. Augustine. They've got one now in Tampa, I believe. I could be wrong. I think it's over on Kennedy and Dale Mabry, somewhere near that area. It's a pretty popular spot. I don't care what time of day you come, everybody wants to come to the Metro Diner. It's full of metrosexuals, that's how it got its name. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I don't know what they have. I've never been to the Metro Diner, whether for breakfast or for lunch. So whatever they got, I'll figure it out.
I just get stuck doing this crap.
They got their breakfast beers, their breakfast Bloody Marys. We met Cornelius and Delilah here a little bit ago. They're here. They're carnies, actually. So they're just passing through. They'll be in Gibtown before long, and they'll be shorter. So working in a carnival for 48 hours requires you to lose about 6 inches off your stature. We're getting a lot of Superbs out of the way on this little trip here.
Ooh, look. That's what Mama's talking about. Yes.
Can't really do it. Fucking superb.
Superb.
All right, boys, let's get out of St. Augustine. Next stop, whenever we stop. So we're gonna hit this stretch of A1A. I've done A1A through here before, back in the Savannah video. But when I went from St. Augustine to Daytona, it was already dark. In my opinion, the prettiest sections of A1A are probably the area between here and Daytona. I mean, I do like the Ponte Vedra and Volano Beach areas quite a bit because it's right up against the water, but when I say the Flagler side is right up against the water, it is right up against the water. So we're going to stop somewhere along the way there on the beach, get a couple pictures for the Instagram, then head on through. I asked Aaron's leading the way today, and I asked Aaron, hey, let's stop in Daytona at the International Speedway, because I'm all about raising some hail and praising some Dale. There's always this little place on the beach, St. Augustine Beach, to stop at when I come through here, and not going to do it this time because we just ate. It's called the Sunset Grill. The food isn't even like phenomenal. It's good enough, and you can sit on the in the balcony area. Their patio is a balcony area, kind of look out over the water. And St. Augustine Beach is pretty small. There's not a whole lot of big to-do like if you were in downtown St. Augustine or historic St. Augustine, you know what I mean? So that's what I kind of dig about it, is the vibe, the environment. St. Augustine Beach, 3 miles away. I've gone this way many times. Like I said before, I lived in St. Augustine, or I lived in Jacksonville, south side of Jacksonville, for about 8 months back in 2014, which in the grand scheme of life isn't very long. But I feel like I lived life to my fullest in those 8 months, man. I was always out at the beach. I was hanging out with friends, trivia night, fishing, whatever, just doing stuff. I've been becoming intimately familiar with the area, and I loved every minute of it. That was my first time living alone in my entire life. You know, I went from home, you know, childhood home, to Marine Corps, so always provided, to I did travel around, living in some hotels, doing some work for a little while, but then I was I was out in Arizona with an instant family, so living there for a little while, waiting on my wife and kids to come out. That was my first experience, so I had a really good time. Wouldn't want to do it again, but man, would you look at that? This is the part of Florida that I fell in love with. I love Tampa, don't get me wrong, I love Tampa. When I first moved to Florida, this captured my heart, man. Pardon me if I sound fucking mushy, but I'm dead ass serious. Or I guess these days you can just say dead ass and get away with that. I'll never get tired of views like that. Never. Breakfast was a lot of fun, man. You know what I love about Aaron? Aaron doesn't give a shit. The dude, when he does talk, is loud and proud. And he has zero filter. We've gotten more side glances and murmurs in the past couple days when he starts talking about whatever it is he's talking about, and I fucking love that about him. Aaron, if you end up watching this, appreciate your zero filter, brutal honesty, own who the fuck you are type personality, man. I dig that shit, dude. Never change for any fucking body. And I got a feeling this far along in your life, you're probably not going to change for anybody, so you're good, man. Anyway, I'm going to turn on some jams, man. We'll see you down here at Flagler Beach or Daytona or something. I'll get some B-roll on the way because I have a hunch. It's going to be fucking pretty. Let's do it.
Man, there is nothing like riding along this section of A1A right next to the Atlantic Ocean and being able to see all of this, man. I'm glad it's one of those days where there's a little bit of, there's some waves out there, so it's not so dead. Because sometimes, I mean, the Atlantic isn't like the Pacific that has giant waves, but it's not always this big either. So this is actually a pretty good freaking day. I don't care how long I'm in Florida, I will never, ever get tired of this shit, ever. I love the water. It took me almost 40 years to get out to the water. I ain't never leaving it, man. Show me your Taz face. That's it. Every face he makes is the Taz face. We thought he smiled, and then we realized he was just yawning, so we're not breaking the mold here.
Well, I wasn't intending to be up front, but here we are. Woohoo! Don't wave, motherfucker. I want to take my wave back. I want a refund. I'm glad we stopped back there because it's really busy over here. This whole section of A1A is really popular for people to hang out at. Come by these little restaurants and bars and shit along the way. There's not a whole lot, so the few places that exist are super packed. You know what I mean? Like this little Breakaways place. Actually, I lied. It's not as packed as I would assume it would be. Never mind, I fucking lied to you. Yeah, you guys might even get tired of me talking about Florida, how much I love it here. I really don't care if you get tired of it or not. That's what I'm going to talk about when I'm out in places like this or Florida places not like this. I just love Florida. I love the scenery. I love the weird ass people. I love the crazy ass stories. I like that we're known for being a little off the cuff. You know what I mean? Imagine being a straight-laced place like Idaho or something. I'm boring. Idaho's never in the news for anything. I'm sure it's a beautiful place, but beauty is only skin deep. Ugly is to the bone, baby. And Florida owns the fuck out of that. Beautiful on the skin, ugly deep down inside. Yeah, baby, Daytona Beach. We are 1 week away from the official start of Daytona Bike Week 2022. Next weekend and for like 2 weeks after that. Maybe it's just 1 week. I don't know. 10 days, something like that. It's Daytona Bike 10 days. 10 or 11 days. It'll be fucking wall to wall. The thing about Daytona Beach is, though, it doesn't have to be Bike Week for there to be a lot of motorcycles here. All the weekend warriors in the whole area get together in and around the Daytona Beach area to hang out, ride motorcycles, drink beers, whatever people do together. Any given parking lot through Daytona Beach looks like a goddamn Harley Davidson dealership, man, I'm telling you. And this week is no different. We passed the same road glide 547 times in the last like 40 miles. I swear to God, I don't know how we were on this endless Groundhog Day loop. If it wasn't that same road glide, it was either the Street Glide or an Ultra Classic. But it was the same ones over and over and over again. Guess how many GL 1500s we saw on this little truck here? 0! That's right, I'm the only one because I am special, baby. I'm glad this old hunk of seaweed, there it is again, there's that same road glide. Son of a bitch, how did he get back in front of us? He waved at Taz. He waved at Taz, the only other road glide. It's like there's like some weird dick-touching brotherhood on the road glide bros, the bagger bros. I think it's funny. Taz, I know you're gonna watch this. I ain't talking shit about you, brother. I just think it's funny. But I'm glad this old hunk of seaweed gets me around the state. We're about to find out here in a few weeks if it's going to get me around the country or not. Going to Arkansas and back. We'll find out one way or the other, right? The only way to do it is to see. Or the only way to see is to do it. And we're going to do it. We're going to try. Oh, yeah, baby. The Church of the South up here on the left-hand side. Dale Earnhardt's last moments alive right over here. You know, growing up in the South, a lot of the towns that a lot of people are from don't have NFL teams. Like, we weren't big NFL fans growing up. We were University of Tennessee fans. That's why college football is so big down here. People didn't live in big cities here unless you lived in Atlanta or something, Nashville. But Nashville didn't have pro sports when I was growing up. All those pro sports that are there now have moved there or started there in the last, goddamn, almost 30 years now. But what we had on Sundays was NASCAR races. So we grew up with that. Wife got really into NASCAR when I moved out to Arizona from Tennessee. We've been to a lot of different tracks. We've been to Daytona a couple times. Come to the Daytona 500 or even the summer one, whatever they're calling it these days. It's like a rite of passage for becoming a Southerner. If you say you want to move down here, but you don't want to come to pay homage to our Lord and Savior Dale Earnhardt, you don't really want to move down here, and we don't want you. Yeah, NASCAR was our thing, man. If you're moving down here, NASCAR's got to be a part of your thing. So, again, man, if you're not ready to take it all in, live and breathe the soul of a NASCAR stock car, you ain't ready to be a Southerner. You ain't ready to live in Florida. You're not ready to sup from the cup of Rusty Wallace and the overlords of NASCAR. Want to just go?
Stopped in Daytona Beach. I actually meant to pull this camera out over there at the International Speedway. Maybe I did and I just forgot. Anybody see me with this camera out over there? Stopped this Wawa to refuel. And then we're about to head, about to get on I-4. So we've done pretty well at avoiding freeways this weekend, but the inevitable. Actually, if we get to Sanford, we can head over up 27 and around. That's a long ride. I'd rather just get home. That right there, boys and girls. That's, no, well, the Speedway, that's the shrine. When you move down here, you have to be ready to engulf all of this and the seed of Dale Earnhardt.
Don't you have to have a camouflage ball cap?
There, if you move down here, your camouflaged number 3 hat is issued to you upon arrival. At the DMV, when you get your driver's license, they give you one of those too.
Okay.
And 2 fishing lures and a meth addiction. That's what you get when you move down here.
All right, we're using a bypass around Orlando. I'm in front again. I don't know if maybe Aaron's phone's GPS antenna isn't doing so hot, because it seems like we often have to pull over and, you know, he messes with the map until we figure it out. And I said, you know what, I don't really like leading, but my map seems to be working fine, so fuck it, we're doing it. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful weekend, man. Full of good times with friends. I'm gonna bet I don't even have enough room to put all this footage on my computer right now, because it's loaded up with games and video games. I'll tell you what I do like about being up front right now is that I can finally, there we go, I can finally use cruise control. That's one of the best things about this motorcycle, man, is using cruise control. And when you're with a bunch of peasants who don't have it, it sucks. Just kidding, we're all fucking peasants. But now that I'm up front, I can use it, and they can all figure out when they're going to twist or not. Little quality of life things that I will gladly take advantage of when I have the option. This is probably the last of the motorcycle recording I'm going to do on this trip. It's been a whole lot of fun, man. I've actually not even worn my helmet this weekend without this camera on. And believe it or not, that actually weighs on your neck a little bit. You can feel that. Yes, I'm whining and complaining. Don't worry about me. This road's going to lead us back to the freeway, I-4. Hopefully we'll cut out a lot of that Disney traffic. Then we'll find something to eat. Hopefully everybody will like whatever it is. I hope my battery doesn't die between now and then. It's another reason why I didn't want to be up front to navigate. Even though my map is working, it's a battery sink. Wherever it is, if we decide to stop, we'll see you up there, man.
Let me tell you about our weir. Okay, so everybody knows that servers work primarily on tips, right? And they'll almost flat out brawl each other for a table. I've seen it, heard it. Shit, yesterday morning in Green Cove Springs, those broads were about to beat each other up over seeing who could help serve us or not. That's the kind of shit I like. Girls fighting over me.
Or to bring you food.
Yeah, girls fighting over who gets to bring me food. That's exactly the kind of patriarchy I want to live in right there, man. So anyway, what I've not ever really noticed is like, so you know they'll ask you sometimes like, you want to start off with an appetizer or a dessert. Those are all like little sales tactics to help beef your bill up to get a bigger tip. We all know that. This guy, John, is fucking hustling, man. He's been trying to upsell us expensive alcoholic beverages, which I didn't even know they had at Cracker Barrel, honestly. He's been working his ass off. He told us last week he made $500 in tips at Cracker Barrel. Yeah.
Strawberry lemonade Jack Daniels.
Yeah, strawberry lemonade Jack Daniels. So what he did was he told us about how good they were, right? Like he'd say, oh man, these things are great. They're not all that strong, so they're really tasty. Who wants one? You know, somebody bid. And a couple people had a drink of them, so now Colleen's like, oh yeah.
For me.
Yeah, make me one.
I'll share it.
Yeah, John's eating that up, dude. I can appreciate that hustle. You should check out his OnlyFans. It's john@cracker.com.
Was it John is a cracker?
John is a cracker at
John_cracker. Only
it's Cracker John.
I'm gonna laugh that there's actually somebody out there with an OnlyFans.
Can somebody on watching this video please go to OnlyFans and see if Cracker John exists? And if it's him, I'm gonna show you him a little bit later. Once again, we're doing an outro while I'm trying to finish editing the video that the outro is gonna go into. It's kind of a weird position to be in, but I stopped recording after this point because it was already dark outside and we were done eating, and it just felt like a good time to just stop. I hate that it took so long to get all this footage out. This was, gosh, a month ago, the end of February, and it's already 9 days into April. But I really liked going through these videos or the footage here while I was editing and kind of reliving some of these things because I had a great time with these guys. If you see us around or you watch the videos, you know these guys are my friends, man. I really like spending time with them. I like going on motorcycle adventures with them locally, out of town, it doesn't matter. I do have the Arkansas trip coming up here in just a few days, actually, and it won't take that long to get that footage out, but I do appreciate you coming along for this video and for all videos. And until next time, we'll see you later.